So the thing we were talking about the other night was people starting up YouTube channels with, well, not so much experience, which is absolutely nothing wrong with. But when you're trying to pass yourself off as an authority, when you haven't had that much experience, and then we're thinking about, well, we were talking about ways that we would perhaps approach YouTube coming from someone that's just starting out in photography and in YouTube, right?
Yeah, that's it.
So,
because for me, I don't want to be one of those that just basically starts a channel and professes to be an immediate expert. So, how would you guys go about it?
Fake it till you make it. Isn't that what everybody does?
Well, yeah, I suppose to a certain degree, eh?
Well, I think what we were talking about in the car was, I think if you want to be seen as an authority on any topic, whether it's fishing or photography or painting or whatever it is, I feel like you've got two options. You either win awards and win contests, and then you've got all of these qualifications under your name, and then the other option is to just have an excellent body of work. And I think if you've got a body of work, either of those is good enough to say, right, here's my credibility. Better if you've got both, like Adam has got. I wouldn't say that, like, I'm going to upset a few people here, but I wouldn't say a college degree is necessarily going to give you the credibility that you need. Maybe it does in certain fields, especially if you were like a doctor or something like that. But in the arts, I'm not sure that, academic degrees, qualifications have any validity. To me personally, I don't find them to have any validity, any value. But yeah, that's what I would do in your instance, is sort of say, right, I am a novice, and I am starting afresh, and I'm coming at this, and from a fresh, beginner's perspective, watch me grow and observe me learn, and learn with me at the same time.
Yeah, that was the idea. That was the idea.
And that's what you do. I think you do that well on your vlogs.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm trying to do, because I don't want to come across as pretentious,
like Adam does. Yeah.
Focus on my face.
No, I just want to build it up that way. That's the way I want to go about it, really. I want to build it up from scratch and take people along from scratch, and not kind of dive in ahead of myself. Yeah,
I feel like you're going the right route. I think that's the way that you would alienate people, is trying to come across as like an expert, and look, this is the best shot ever taken of this waterfall.
Yeah.
And as long as you don't do that, I think you're going to be fine. Unlike us, where we clearly profess, no, this is the best shot you'll ever see.
But I suppose you have to build yourself up to that level, though. You don't just kind of start a YouTube channel.
But it's like any profession. Like, it doesn't matter whether you're a plumber or electrician, or I just happen to be a photographer. What I have going for me is that I've been doing it for so long that a lot of the things that I do come quite naturally to me, and they should. After 20 odd years, they should, and I think that's my advantage over a lot of other people. Now, when it comes to actually YouTube, I'm just a beginner. Filming myself, and I'm learning as I go along. But I think the hardest part people have is trying to find their own voice and how they're going to present themselves.
Yeah, definitely.
Like Gavin, if you meet him in person to his videos, he's pretty much the same person, God help us all, in his videos in real life. And I think that I'm somewhat the same.
But that's a good thing, eh? That's a good thing, because I don't think you want to be two separate people.
It's too much energy to maintain a facade. We're lazy, so it's easier. Just be yourself, and then you don't have to put on an act, do you?
Yeah. Well, I think you told me that.
Yeah.
You told me that when I first started, and you watched one of my videos, and you said, "Drop the presenter, Lark."
Yeah, but I think watching your videos, I think as you progress into it, not that I'm any expert. I've been doing this a year, just the same as you've done, but I guess I'm doing it full time, so I've done a few more. But you'll evolve into being far more relaxed once that thing's rolling.
Yeah.
And then as you're relaxed, your actual personality and who you are comes across. The way that I try and do it is I just feel like I'm, if I'm not with Adam, I just pretend I'm talking to a buddy. I'm out with a buddy, and I'm talking crap to the camera as if I'm talking to my buddy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's easier when we're together because we are actually just talking crap to each other, just bullshitting, and then you just hit record while you're bullshitting.
Yeah.
But if you're on your own, it's more difficult, and it's really bad if you're on your own and inexperienced, and then there's a crowd, and there's like 5 people rock up, and perhaps they don't even know what a vlogger is. Then they really look at you like you're weird, don't they? Like, and you're like, oh, I'll wait till they've gone, and then you have to kind of wait, and then you just pluck up the courage to start again. Yeah. And then 5 other people wander up, and you're like, oh, yeah, I'll just go somewhere else.
Yeah. Well, this is it. This is what happens, and I struggle with that. I really struggle with that. Struggle with when I'm on my own. I tend to struggle with. You don't have the same enthusiasm. You almost have to kick it up into a second gear when you're on your own.
Well, if you're not getting epic light in an epic location. But I mean, for me, like if I'm alone and I'm somewhere that's absolutely amazing, I'm like a schoolboy. I'm like squealing. I'm so excited, and that comes across on the videos. But I think if you had a buddy, I mean, just any friends would be good if you just had any friends. No, I mean, if you had a photographer buddy and you could do what we do. I mean, and we've done some of that. Like you've come and done some stuff with us, and it's brilliant. But when you're back home, if you could just get someone who's like got a good crack, it'll just make life so much easier for vlogging anyway.
And you end up just playing off one another. Like you'll see that they're enthusiastic, and then it kind of feeds into your enthusiasm, and also the a lot of the comments that you get on. I mean, most of my videos, I mean, the comments are just fantastic, and that really inspires you to keep doing more. When you're feeling a bit like, I don't really feel like doing this. Yeah. But then you read the comments, and so you're inspiring them, but they don't know that you're actually they're inspiring you to keep putting out more videos and encouraging,
Yeah, it does. It makes all the difference. It really does. And when people comment on it, even a small channel like mine, when people comment on it, it really kind of gives you that boost.
Oh, yeah, and people say some really nice things, like some really genuinely nice things. 99% of people,
except for the odd troll.
You always get one though, don't
you? There's always one hate-filled troll that just wants to shit in everybody's cornflakes. Wankers.
It's right enough though. It is.
But I think, how many followers have you got now?
902.
I felt like when I got to that 2,000 mark, that's when I felt like I've got an audience. Yeah. And it felt worthwhile to create these videos because you knew someone would watch it. You knew that someone would get some enjoyment out of it, and they would give you feedback, and you'd have this reciprocal energy loop where you put in and you get out, And to be honest, once you get to 2,000, if they're active, if it's an active audience, I don't see any difference. I'm almost at 30,000 now, which is not huge compared to some people, but there's no difference. Yeah. That energy loop is the same at 2,000 as it is at 30,000, because if they're engaged and they're giving you ideas and they're giving you feedback, and that's what I love about our audience, especially from the videos that we do together, is people give us ideas. There's so many different versions of Uncle Grumpy that they've thrown at us. little terminology and little slang words that we use that comes from them. When I first started doing this stuff with Adam and we first started building stories into these videos, I never imagined that people would pay attention to all of those little details that we weave in. But they do, and they come back, and they're so detail oriented that 6 months after you did something, they could be like, oh, I saw what you did there. You put that reference into that thing you did 6 months ago, and that blows my mind. And that makes you want to do more, and that makes you want to, post more and get more detailed. At no point do I think, oh, no one's going to watch this on, no one's going to notice that. I used to when I first started out, but now I know that they notice every little thing, and I love that. And I think when you get that engagement, your motivation is what will get you through those shitty moments when you're on your own and it's freezing and you're like, oh, battery exhausted, because he shoots with Sony too. You'll just keep going. I'll smash it
up, yeah, probably.
Like I did.
No, I can't afford to do that.
No, me neither.
But no, it'll help me with consistency as well, because it's when you two are doing it full time, it's not so bad. But for me, I struggle to try and get a video out every 2 weeks. Yeah. And what tends to happen is I feel as though I've got to get video every time I go out and shoot.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's a wasted trip for me, and I can't just. It's really difficult not to just sack something off because it hasn't worked out. You're almost forcing yourself to make it work, and that's not always a good thing.
It's not, but if you had a buddy and you were doing the whole banter thing, you're still going to be providing entertainment to people, even if your day was a complete fail. You didn't get any good shots. You didn't even get any particularly pretty B-roll because it was just pissing it down. But you might have got a few interesting clips that people can totally empathise with and identify with, because they're facing the same struggles that you and your buddy are having, a bit of a complaint about, or maybe you overcome something and then it's, we overcame it, and they can identify with that. And I think it's difficult to portray that when you're doing stuff on your own, starting from the very beginning. Like, it's all right for Tom because he's where he is now, right? So I think when he's on his own, there's always that motivation to keep going because he knows it's going to get seen by a huge audience. But when you've got like 1,000 followers, and maybe half of them see it, you might think, where can I dredge up that energy from? But stick with it, man, and just improve all the time. And I feel like as your stuff gets better and better, you'll get more collaboration invitations. I mean, we didn't invite him, he just showed up. Just knocked on the door.
Oh yeah. Well, that's one thing I would recommend to anybody starting a YouTube channel, whether they've been doing it for a while or just starting up, is to collaborate with other people for sure. It's the only, because as a photographer in the past, you're always competing against one another, so you wouldn't collaborate with hardly anybody because you're competing for jobs. But now I'm not really a photographer, I'm a YouTuber, and I just happen to pick photography as a subject, and collaborating has only helped my channel more than anything else. So the more you can do with different people, the better, for sure.
Helps the reach, definitely. You get out to their audience, and then it kind of snowballs. And
even if it's someone that only has, doesn't have a large audience, it's still good to collaborate with them. Well, because it helps everybody.
I think it gives you fresh ideas as well, seeing how somebody else goes about it.
Yeah, definitely.
I did when we first started vlogging with Tom. I got so many ideas. Number one was just film everything, record everything. Because I don't know what it is with you and I, but we're so loath to get our cameras out and hit record, and the amount of times that we say, we should have been recording that, whereas Tom just records everything, so he doesn't miss those moments that we miss, because we're lazy vloggers. We are, really, aren't we?
That's why I do all that voiceover.
But in the end, the voiceover takes probably more effort.
It does. It does.
With all the editing, but it doesn't require that emotional energy that being in the field, when you're downtrodden, you're freezing cold, you're hungry, and the weather's shit and you're not getting anything, and then you've got to dredge up that effort.
Yeah, and the last thing you want to do is take out a camera and start recording it.
No.
Because the trouble is you're trying to focus on everything. That's what I find hard anyway. Try to focus on finding a shot for a start off before you can actually video anything.
This is my constant struggle is, am I going to get a shot today? And then chances are you won't, but you have to film all this B-roll of you getting to the location on the off chance that you do get a shot, because if you did get a shot, oh shit, I didn't film any B-roll. So you've got to film it anyway, right? Of the story building up to that moment. But the amount of times we've gone out and not got a shot and filmed B-roll, it's painful.
So, do you think with the landscape photography, there's too many YouTubers now doing the same thing?
Yes. End of story.
Is that it?
I mean, like Adam just said, you know, there's lots of competition, but I feel like in YouTube, it's so easy to turn competition into collaboration. And we've said this many times in interviews before. It's a powerful medium in that regard. Yeah. So I don't think there's anything wrong with it being super saturated. I mean, obviously, it could reach a point where nobody's interested in any landscape photography vlogs because there's so many of them.
Yeah.
But I feel if you have quality work, and that's what I think. You know, above all else, right? People look at my stuff and say, "Oh, he's got the comedy thing down. You know, that's what he does. He's a comedian." But I feel like my work stands for itself. Like none of the comedy has any relevance. None of the skits, none of the adventures and the capers have any relevance if my work was crap.
Yeah.
You don't think it's crap, do you?
That's pretty good.
Oh, that we recorded that. We'll just make it a bit louder. But you know, I feel like if you've got good work, that is the absolutely most important thing. And then if you can create something around that, whether it's comedy, camaraderie, banter, or drama, or just education, any of those things, it will rise to the top. Because not everybody can be brilliant.
Yeah.
Not saying I am. But you know what I mean? It's like, you know, the cream rises to the top. So it's like anything. It's like sport, right?
Mm.
But it's good that we've kind of got in. I mean, I'm late to this game. But it's good that I've got in already.
But the other thing about YouTube, there isn't a finite number of videos before it just suddenly cuts off and nobody's going to watch. I mean, there'll always be more YouTubers coming in, and there'll be some with, you know, a really gung-ho character, and everybody loves those guys or gals. I do think there is a shortage of women photographers.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a shortage of women landscape photographers. I think there's a lot.
I meant YouTubers.
But on YouTube,
YouTubers.
on YouTube there isn't that many doing it.
But because it seems to be all middle-aged English guys.
Yeah.
Maybe there was a bit more diversity. It might help. I don't know.
Oh, you've noticed. I mean, most of the landscape photography channels seem to be based in the UK. It's weird. I don't know why that is.
I think it's not weird at all. It's because that's where there's a huge population. So if you look at Canada and the actual population of human beings in Canada compared to the UK, even though the UK is a much smaller country, the population density is off the charts.
Yeah.
So of course there's more people with money to buy cameras. There's more people with money to spend going out and taking pictures. So that's where they are.
Yeah.
Mind you, there doesn't seem to be as many American YouTubers. They're mostly gear related.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, the Americans do tend to focus on gear. That's interesting, isn't it? Maybe it's those affiliate links. It's those affiliate dollars that we just don't make.
Yeah, not so many vloggers over there, eh?
Well, there might be, but I don't know that many landscape photographers.
I've noticed there's quite a few Australian and Kiwi vloggers now. They're starting to pop up.
Well, most of my followers are American, English, Australian, and then Canada, and I think German is fifth.
Yeah.
And then from there.
I think mine are the same. We've got the same followers.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
That's why our numbers never kind of. I am still ahead of you.
Oh, he's way ahead of me now. I think you guys should hop over to my channel and hit that subscribe button, tickle the little bell, and maybe then go to Adam's and then unsubscribe. Because you can't subscribe to both, can you? No, I don't mean that.
And then I'll just put my top 7 tips, and that will just drag my numbers.
I'll be out of business.
Now, the only other thing that I put down there is just, do you think there's pressure from a landscape photography point of view to travel abroad as a landscape photographer?
No.
Or can you get away with just doing it all in your country?
Well, it depends where you live. I mean, I think where we live, to be honest with you, I could probably get away with not travelling at all.
Yeah.
And actually, in some respects, I'd rather just stay here. I do get a bit tired of going to the same areas, but it doesn't make it any less beautiful. It's just a bit hard, a bit more of a challenge to photograph. It's nice to go to other countries, but I haven't done an awful lot of travelling it was only the last couple of years where I've really gone to a lot of other countries in a year anyway.
Yeah, I tend to find it easier on your home to be honest, because you kind of know the areas and you know.
Well, you're definitely going to get better images, the areas that you know really well, for sure.
Because you can keep going back till you get that good light. That's the thing.
I mean, Cathedral Grove here, I mean, I don't know, how many times have you been to Cathedral Grove?
I've lost count.
And how many great images have you got here?
0. Not one.
I've got one that I like.
Yeah.
Well, I did that Pano a couple of years ago. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I love it here, but I don't have many images from here.
But if we ever get those conditions, those perfect foggy conditions, we're perfectly poised to get that. And so I think that's why you've got to kind of work with what you've got. I mean, if you live somewhere where there's nothing, like if you're in just flat prairies and there's nothing, then of course you're going to have to either fly or get in your car. But the UK especially, there's so much history. There's so much to shoot there. It's very diverse. I mean, you don't have high alpine.
Yeah.
You don't have deserts and stuff. Like the US has got it all. They're so spoiled. But the UK's got the history, right? And it's got those quaint villages and towns, and so there's
got a fantastic coastline.
Yeah,
it does.
Great woodlands.
Yeah.
I think the woodlands are they have more character than they do here.
Oh, well, look at that beech forest that we shot in Scotland. Yeah, the UK is brilliant, but it's the only thing about the UK is if Google Maps says it's 3 hours, it's 6 because of traffic.
Yeah.
And you have to be able to deal with the stress of that. Whereas we're lucky living on the island. If it says 3 hours, unless something weird happens, it's 3 hours. You know, because the traffic's not as bad. That's your struggle.
Yeah, definitely noticed that. Sure.
Yeah.
Well, thanks very much, guys, for that talk, and thanks for getting me across here and doing stuff.
Oh no, I mean it's your absolute pleasure, and you know, feel free to you can pay now or. You can pay when you leave on Monday.
Checks in the post.
We accept tips.
Yeah.
7 tips.
7 top tips. So have you had a good time though?
Yeah, it's been spot on. There's some really great places. It's really nice.
So tomorrow they're off to the Carmanor Walbran Forest, which I've never been to. I didn't get invited, so I'll just stay
you're
home.
invited, but you'll have to camp.
I've got a video to put out. I'll stay home.
Well, if it's pouring rain, then it's
Misty.
Is it going to be misty?
Well, if it's pouring with rain, there's a good chance.
might be.
Oh, my legs have gone to sleep.
Cool.
All right, Paul.
That's great. Cheers for that.
I can't feel my testicles.